Hello, my name is Andika Duncan and welcome to the Buyers Seminar. In this short video, I'm going to talk about how to get started with the home buying process. But first of all, the first step is to get a loan. And you will do that with either your bank or with a licensed mortgage lender or mortgage broker. And I have some recommendations. I will leave the information in the description box below. You will have to supply documentation for your income and assets in order for the lender to determine how much money you can borrow and what your home buying power will be. Once that process is completed, you will receive a pre-approval letter, and with that pre-approval letter, we can get started. We will sit down together, and I will have a buyer orientation meeting with you where I go through the buyer representation form that we will both sign before we start looking at homes. In that form, in that contract, we agree to the different terms, the length, the area, and our duties. Once the consultation is done, I will also provide step-by-step instructions of the upcoming process, and I will set up searches for you so you can find the homes that are coming on the market. And if you see something that you would like to see in person, we can schedule and go visit the homes. So the home tours are pretty simple. Usually we need a day in advance to set up the meetings, the tours, because sometimes sellers need that amount of time to be notified if they are still living in the home. If the homes are vacant, it's a totally different story. If something pops up, you can let me know, and I can go ahead and put you in my schedule and go look at the home. When we look at homes, this is going to be kind of like a speed dating, because obviously you will see the pictures, and pictures sometimes look better than the reality. And I know that from experience, because I am also a real estate photographer, and I know how to make a property look pretty good on the pictures. But this is the first step, to invite the buyers to come and really look at the home in person. So if we see something that you don't like, and usually the biggest problem is either a smell in the home or the layout that doesn't work. Those are things that you cannot really learn from just the pictures alone, unless floor plans are provided, which I do with my listings, by the way. So if something doesn't check out, we're not even going to waste any time on to the next. But if you really like the home, we will spend some time to walk around, and I will point out things that you need to pay attention to, especially windows, foundation, roof, anything that can be seen with our eyes on the spot. I will point out to you. Obviously, if you like a home and we put in a contract, we put in an offer, we will also have a professional inspection ordered, so we will know exactly what the condition of the home is. So we do this until we find the perfect home. And I urge you not to be rushed, not to run to a home that hits the market right away and try to get into a bidding war. Because right now, interest rates are still high. We are at the peak of the market, so you will have to be very careful with the home that you choose, and I do not want you to overpay for a home in this market at all. So once we found the home that you like and we have our offer accepted, the next step will be the inspection, as I mentioned before. And once we get the inspection report back, we will request repairs from the sellers. We can attend the inspection. Usually the inspector goes out before us. It takes 2 to 3 hours, depends on the size of the property that the inspector has to inspect. And we will meet with the inspector at the very end so we can go through the report, because sometimes the information that we get in person is a little bit more easy to digest and understand than the report alone. So after the inspection, we will create the repair request and we send it to the seller. We will ask for all the major items because we want to ensure that the home that you're buying is going to be intact and safe. We will wait for a response from the sellers. They have options. They can accept the repair request and do everything that we ask for. They can counter, meaning that they may agree to some repairs and decline some others, or altogether they just say that they don't want to repair anything. We have options. In that case, we can also ask for a concession for the repairs or a price reduction. And hopefully the negotiations go well and we can move forward. But if you cannot agree with the seller because the seller is not obligated to do any repairs, you have the option to back out of the contract. This is actually an option that you purchase in the contract. You usually get 7 days to get the inspection done and change your mind for any reason. So one of the reasons would be that you cannot agree with the repairs, about the repairs with the seller. But let's just suppose that everything goes correctly and you are moving forward. So after we agreed on the repair request with the seller, you are out of the option period and you still have some contingencies that you have to meet. Usually those contingencies are financing if you need a loan, if you're not a cash buyer, or if you have to sell your current home. That could be another contingency of sale of other property. And those are usually the two major ones, and obviously the appraisal, which is attached to the financing. So let's move forward. You're already working with your lender. The lender at this moment already has the contract in hand and they are working on your final approval. You have to keep in mind that when you get your pre-approval, it's not a final approval. So it does not mean automatically that you will receive the loan for the purchase. You will have to meet some requirement from the lenders. They will require a lot of additional documentation that you have to provide to them on request. Sometimes you have to write explanation letters on different charges on your account so they have a clear idea of your financial situation. Once that is cleared, they will order the appraisal. The appraiser comes out. They are representing the lender because obviously the lender wants to know what is the value of the property. You will have to pay for the appraisal up front. The appraiser goes out and creates a report. They will visit the property in person, make some measurements and compare this property to recently sold comps and make some adjustment to come up with the value. The value has to match or exceed the contract price. If everything works out perfectly, then we can move forward. However, in some cases, the appraisal comes in lower than the offer price. This is another contingency that you will be covered if the appraisal is lower and you cannot get the loan. Obviously, you can back out of the contract. You have some options though to negotiate with the seller. Number one, we can ask them to lower the price to the appraised value, because if the seller is motivated to really move quickly, they will be most likely agreeable and we can get a price reduction so you can get the loan. Another option is to meet in the middle, which in this market I really don't recommend because I don't want you to overpay for your property. That means that the equity that you have in your home is already starting lower than what you're actually putting down. And the third option is to end the contract and go look for another home and start the whole process from the beginning. But once the appraisal is done and the price came in at value or above, which is better because that means that you have some extra equity in your home, then we can move forward. We will have to revisit the property one more time before closing to do a final walkthrough to make sure that all the repairs have been completed, the house is intact, there are no windows broken, everything is the same way as we saw it when we first toured the home and during the inspection. After the walkthrough, we are ready to close. We are going to meet at the title company to close in person. If you are not present in Texas at that moment, you can also close remotely via a mobile notary. And once the sellers and buyers both sign the closing disclosures and the funds are transferred to the seller, it means that the transaction is complete and you receive your keys. So this is in a nutshell of what it takes to buy a house in today's market. If you are in the market for a home and you're looking for a lender, please contact me and I can connect you with my recommended preferred lenders. And also contact me. Let's talk about your budget. Let's talk about what home are you looking for, your time frame, so we can get this process started for you and get you your keys as soon as possible. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to working with you.